to me, my family is the most important thing right now. And so with Miss Charlene, is it Charlene or Charlene?
I think it's
I always say
Charlene.
Charlene.
But I think it's Charlene.
Okay.
But go ahead.
But she was trying to give her 2 cents in that situation. And it's like, it ain't got nothing. I mean, it has something to do with you. I get it because you're protecting your daughter. But you may not have ever been in this type situation with this much media, with this much money involved, with these amount of, so this situation,
right.
You really can't speak on this situation because you've never been there. And that's kind of why I look at who's bumping in your ear, because they may not have been in the same situation that you've been in.
And they may not even understand your situation and
right.
where you stand in the situation. Because in a relationship, in certain relationships, you may deal with one thing a certain way, and
right.
in somebody else's relationship, they may deal with it in a totally different kind of way.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
because
like a person they may accept more of the I won't say abuse, but maybe wrongdoing than another person.
Everybody has different limits.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Some people
everybody has different limits.
Everybody has different limits. So there might be a limit to in certain relationships that some people may have limits of disrespect.
Right.
And hey, in other relationships, they may not even tolerate that.
So I look at it like Angela from Why Did I Get Married?
Oh, I thought you was talking
Loud
about
Angela. Listen, she ain't taking none of that.
She ain't taking none of it. But on the flip side, in another relationship, they
worked it out.
They worked it out. They can deal with the
through.
disrespect. They can all of that, and it doesn't bother them.
Right.
And then if you go to that person for advice, and they may be like, "Oh well, I wouldn't handle it that way. I would."
Because how you have your girl Sean Fleischer in your ear. She's like, "Oh girl, I wouldn't take that. You better dump that, man. But you got kids involved, and you like, well, I don't want to do it that way." And then you go talk to Miss Betsy down at the church, and she be like, "Baby, I've been married for 42 years, and my husband done stepped out on me, and we had to work through it. It was hard. Look at
right.
What's that movie with Viola Davis and Denzel Washington?
Oh, the
Fences. How she had to accept that he stepped out of the marriage. She even took that child in. So everybody may have different limits, because if it was Fonquisha, she right. gonna be like, "You got a baby? Bye."
Right.
I wish I could see my head. Bye.
But in that situation, it's like you if you're taking advice from Bonquisha or Kwai or Kwana or whoever it is, and they can't even keep a
successful. Why they gotta be our ghetto names though? Why they gotta be black names?
You know what? That is right.
Why couldn't it be a Joan or a
Becky or
why gotta be what gotta be Becky?
I don't know. But anyway, if it was somebody and they can't even keep a good relationship more than 2 weeks, and they try to give you advice on your relationship,
like Mimi trying to give Rashida relationship advice.
Exactly, you can't even keep a man or a woman. So, and now you try to give advice. Like, who's right. in your ear?
You got to be mindful.
You have to be mindful of that. And I think it all goes back to in this world that we live in. It just. I think at the base and the foundation of everything, I think it's about trust, and who are you trusting, and who do you actually trust? Who can you allow to be in your ear?
But like we talked about before, you have those low key haters that kind of appear that they want your trust, and you got their trust,
right.
and vice versa, and blah blah. And it's like you're building a friendship. It's like you're building that trust. You're building that relationship to go further or what have you. And it's like so many people abuse that nowadays, that
right.
when it's abused, you actually mess it up for the person that was letting their wall down.
Right.
Like for me, like whenever they meet me, they be like, "Oh, he's shady." He
call
me
shady sometimes. Sometimes.
Anyway, so and I've had people that don't like me because they think I'm shady or I seem standoffish or facial expressions or what have you. And little do you know, like I am a nice guy. I'm nice. I'm giving. I'm loving. I ain't that asshole that you always see. Right. But because of past situations where I've trusted someone that was coming into my life, or you asked me for this and this is what I give you, and I give you the benefit of the doubt. See, like I use it. And it's like you betray me, or you blab out my personal information, or you just cut me off for no reason that I don't know about, and you dip out, it's like, well, let me build that wall right back up, because, you know, I was starting to tear it down to let people in, but you done fucked me over, so sorry.
Beep, beep.
Sorry, I was supposed to have my
your sensor on, please.
But I kind of got emotional with this one.
Right.
That's why you can't let your emotions get into.
But a lot of times people
advice.
allow their emotions to get caught up. But but speaking of trust, it's just like you have to be mindful of who you're trusting. You can't trust everybody.
You can't trust.
And
everybody.
I think you have to put people in specific like boxes for a time being, just so that you can see how,
like probation.
Yeah, probation. Like I tell people in a minute, like I put all my friends on like a 3-year trial probationary period.
3-year probation,
right? Because you don't know, you don't know who you can trust.
I don't think OJ got a 3-year probation. Oh yeah, I know OJ out.
OJ out, y'all. But you don't know who you can trust. And I think you have to give yourself enough time to get to know people. Yeah. And sometimes you don't. A lot of times we don't give ourselves enough time to get to know people before we start trusting them. But then, we start giving them information. And a lot of times people they try to gain your trust so that they can use that information against you.
Oh, now that right there is the snake in the garden.
Right. So, and that goes, and I was just about to go into that, because then you have to look at the whole, I mean, after you've used the F-bomb, but the talk about Adam and Eve, if we go back to the beginning.
I mean, I know the Bible.
I didn't say you didn't, but I'm just saying, if you go back to that betrayal, and I think what we missed in that entire story and the whole serpent talking to Eve, it wasn't like just one day that the serpent talked to Eve. Eve was talking to the serpent on a daily basis. So the serpent was coming and they were having conversations. And he used that. He found all the information that he needed.
He found out that.
And he gained her trust.
Yeah.
So once he gained her trust and...
So he found out that she knew that she was not supposed to eat from this tree, or she would know that, or it would be the end of knowing.
Right. He knew all of that. So he gained her trust. So once he gained her trust, and he said, "Oh no, girl, go ahead, eat.
Go ahead, girl, eat.
Go ahead, you can do it."
That's how you always get God.
Right, because she allowed herself to trust him or it, and.
So is it the woman that got us in this situation, this particular one? Okay, no, I'm just playing, y'all.
No, it's not. and that's another misconception, because we could go back, we could dig down into that, because it's another because Adam didn't have to eat. She took it back to him.
She took it back to him, and
he knew, he had the knowledge of that, no, we don't supposed to do that.
Right.
Just because she brought it to him, he didn't have to eat it. But you know what? That's another topic. So it just goes. We're gonna go back to who's in your ear.
Who's in your ear?
So
the serpent was in her ear.
The serpent was in her ear, and he used her.
And that's so unfortunate nowadays. Like you have serpents walking the streets now.
Right.
You have serpents portraying to be your friend and saying,
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because if you really look at the text, the serpent was walking at that time. The serpent wasn't on the ground until after that. He wasn't cursed to be on the ground until after that. So now it's like, okay, we got these serpents that are walking around gaining our trust and using it against us and betraying us, and now they need to be.
Wasn't he the most beautiful angel of them all?
Most beautiful,
or something like that.
I'm sorry. No, he was.
I mean,
talented.
He was
like
used to have those.
He was over like the praise and worship.
VHS
no,
back in the day, and they was like all the Bible stories, like Samson and Delilah.
No,
you didn't see those.
I mean, no, I saw those, but yeah, but I'm just go ahead.
Dang. You didn't have a Precious Memories Bible?
Yeah. But, we don't want to get too holy with it,
Yeah.
But, I'm just saying.
Not with my mouth.
It just all goes, there's always a foundation to something. And I feel like trust is always the foundation.
It's always the root.
It's always the root.
You got to go to the root. It's from the rooter to the tutor.
And if we can actually take time to learn people and actually get to know people before we actually start to trust them, we'll be in a much better place.
That's true.
And because, like I said before, it's like people.
Even though people are asking, you can't always let them be.
No,
they ain't always trustworthy.
No, and that's
because I've made that mistake twice.
And you can allow people in, and they will.
I might pay for this one.
They'll use it all against you.
That's true.
They really gaining the information so that they can either Oh, excuse me.
Jesus Christ.
I got choked up.
Oh, that's what
But
that was?
they're gaining the information to either use it against you or to protect themselves. And a lot of
Or
times,
make themselves look better.
right, that's what I'm saying. Protect themselves. Like they can take the information that they gained from you to try to make you look bad, so that they can make themselves look good.
That's so dirty.
It's dirty.
Like, I mean,
it's low down.
People are going to see you for who you are, so you have to show. You
And
can't
a lot
go
of people see
You can't ride on the
people for-
back of like somebody of a misconception or a lie that you've started or a misconception that you started about somebody else.
A lot of times people ride on that whole deception or deceiving others so that they can make themselves look good.
It's so unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
But you have to
and
be
it's sad.
you have to be cognizant of who in your ear and see the serpents that's walking the streets.
Right, and all of them aren't going to be visible in the beginning. So that's why,
Or visible with the naked eye, fleshly eye. Because sometimes you have to get I know we're getting spiritual about this thing.
I know,
But you have to.
But you have to. You have to be.
You have to be able to go in
use
and
your
see.
discernment.
Right. You have to
That's
use
the
that.
key. You have to be able to use your discernment. Like you have to be able to discern who is the person that can be in your ear and who you can trust.
Right.
And also you have to know like who you can go to for certain advice, because everybody's not going to be able to give you advice. You can't go to the same person for relationship advice that you go to for career advice.
Right. See,
so
that's
you
the
have to
problem I
be
ran
able
into.
to differentiate the two.
And that's one of the things. Speaking of that, I ran into a situation where I had to kind of give some advice on, somebody that was kind of dealing with the same thing that I've been dealing with depression and or anxiety. I don't really know, but they stated that they wanted to talk to someone, and I recommended that you talk to a professional.
Right.
But they wanted to go and speak with a pastor that was their family member.
Okay.
And I didn't think that was a good idea because even though a lot of people say, oh, I'm real, and I'll do this and I'll do that, there's always come a point in time whenever you're dealing with real issues that you will misconstrue or something will be altered because you don't want all of it to come out.
Right.
And and that's just us. That's just human nature. Because I've been in situations where I needed to be completely honest and I had nothing to hide. But it's like, well, you kind of want to put things in certain ways that either don't make you look as bad or whatever. But the situation was bad.
Right.
If you was a hoe, you was a hoe, or whatever.
Whatever, right.
So I think, I was like, well, it may be a good idea to go to someone professional, someone that's trained in it, clinically licensed, and so on and so forth, or not even your family member, because, you may get, even with that person, you may get information based off of your family history or or what they know about you. And so, I was shot down and I accepted it. I said, I can't push you to do what you're not comfortable doing. But, that goes to who you're going to listen to, because I don't think that all pastors, just because you're a religious leader or what have you, that you have the right or the ability or the knowledge to cancel
on mental behaviors.
Right.
And that's another
misconception. Because mental behaviors can go so far.
That can go so far. Like
much further than the Bible.
Much further than Christianity, religion, all of that. And I, being that I am a person that goes to church and like heavenly, and I enjoy the word and reading the Bible and all of that, but I know that I can't go to my pastor and talk to him about everything, because he, even though I feel like he may be knowledgeable about it, he's not the person that I need to talk to about like mental behaviors or when I'm going through different situations.
Right.
I need professional help. I need to talk to someone. But
that's a big thing in the black community. Like we're scared to go to professional help.
But
we're scared
but we shouldn't. You should be able to go to somebody that doesn't know anything about you, doesn't know your family, doesn't know anything about you, and you're going to have a conversation, and they'll be able to give you good sound advice.
Dr. Mayling.
With no Mayling? Dr. Mayling, though? The foot lady?
Hey, she can
so
do
you can be in the nail shop?
She can do me.
That's your counselor?
Shoot.
That's your counselor?
Lee? Hey, listen. Don't sleep.
I'm going to Dr. Smith. But that's what I'm saying. Like your pastor is there to actually guide your soul and your spirit and to help you fulfill your destiny. Yeah. I don't feel like he can help you with what you're going on in your relationship. He maybe from a personal aspect, maybe if it's like